Hi there, and welcome to my December plan with me. Gosh, can you believe it's already December? So, what I'm doing here is I am testing out a couple of things. I'm planning to use stamps and stencils and some embossing powder on this layout. And this, I'm going to link all of the supplies and stencils and stamps and stuff that I use in the description below. This stencil set is a layering stencil from Holtz, and I am using, looks like, oh, what ink was that? I think it was Bundled Sage, but I could be wrong on that. But I will definitely link the distress ink that I used down below. I'm going with kind of a cool greens, browns, and cool blues theme for this particular layout. And this is, I think, Lucky Clover. And I'm going to use the same stencil for this ink. And then I'm going to follow that up, I think, with a little bit of stamping from the stamp set there on the left. And you can find this particular stamp set at Michael's. This is a Recollection stamp set, and it is actually a layering stamp set, which you don't see very often for planners. But I'm going to start off, and I'm actually using Archival ink, which isn't all that great for layering. This turned out okay, and I would probably do it again. That is Fern Green Archival ink, and I stamped the solid tree with that first, and now I am positioning it's kind of like the shadows, but you could also do a white embossing powder and use that to create kind of layers of snow on your trees. And I stamped that with I want to say Library Green. And now I'm going to add the larger tree, and I'm stamping it off the edge just to create this this visual that there's more to it, that this is just a piece of the forest here. And I'm going to follow that up with the shadows, the dimensional layering piece in Library Green. And this Holtz stamp platform is what is letting me do this. I would not be able to do layered stamping without this particular tool at all. And this is I want to say it's a Versamark. This is a dewdrop pad, I think, in Sahara Sand. Yeah, I think that's what that is. And I'm going to... That is the reason why you put washi tape on your magnets, because they will stick together, and if you don't have something to pry them apart with, you might be as stuck as the magnets are. So I'm going to stamp one more layered tree over there on the bottom right. Now, these planner pages are DIY pages. I created this file myself, and I print it out every month, update it every month, and print it out, and trim it and punch it. And I print it on Recollections usually. It's not the really heavy cardstock, but the medium weight. I want to say it's 65-pound cardstock. And that is potting soil. So I stamped out the stag in Archival potting soil. Now back to the paper. I use the Recollections because you can usually get, when you catch it on sale, you can get like 4 of them for $10, which is a pretty good deal. And what I'm going to do here, I went over the areas that I'm going to do the heat embossing with my powder tool, and I stamped out the little snowflakes in Versamark ink, and that stamping, or that powder, that embossing powder, is the holographic embossing powder from Ranger, which I don't think they make anymore, but I will add a link to something similar. There are a couple of other companies that produce similar products, and it's just a little bit of clear embossing powder with some sparkles in it. I think it's just glitter. But anyway, it produces a very neat effect when you heat it up. So I'm stamping out different sizes of snowflakes, and then I'm gonna heat emboss them. I cannot believe it is already December. It seems like 2018 just started. It is just flying by. And if you end up with more embossing powder in places that you didn't want it, you can always go back over it with a soft bristle paintbrush, which is what I did there. And with a Versamark, it usually gets like a really good grip on that embossing powder. So you can usually just thump the back of the page and it'll loosen up a lot of the extra embossing powder. And you can't really see the embossing powder change. This particular type of embossing powder, you've really kind of got to watch it closely to see it change. Because if you overheat embossing powder, it gets kind of gritty and yucky, and it'll actually flake right off if you're not careful. So you do have to watch. There you can see some of the sparkle. It produces this iridescent kind of sparkle, which is really, really neat. So I'm going to do this page, and I'm basically going to do the same thing on this page. Just repeat that snowflake in a couple of different areas. And I actually don't have a whole lot already planned out for December, which is kind of weird. Most employers and stuff, they usually try to pack December full of lunches and dinners and banquets and stuff, but my employer is waiting until the last minute to tell us what we're doing for the Christmas holidays celebration stuff. So, and I work for a university, and most of what we're doing right now is focused on just getting to the end of the semester and getting our students through finals, and focused on winter graduation. And yeah, right now, as I'm recording this, it's November 12th. So yeah, I put this planner page together pretty far in advance, but we're in the midterms now, and just can't wait for the semester to be over. This stamp set is from Hero Arts, and I think it's just called Food Planner or Meal Planner, one of the two. I think they have stamp sets called both, so I will be sure to link to the correct one down below. And it's designed by Kelly Perky, and the ink was Shadow Gray. You don't want to use watering can. I know I've said it before, but watering can will bleed through this 65-pound paper. And if it bleeds through 65-pound paper, I cannot imagine what it would do to thinner planner paper. This stamp set is it's either more tabs or basic tabs from Sweet Stamp Shop. And this stamp is the Work to Do stamp set from Hero Arts. It's kind of a work themed. Now the Sweet Stamp Shop boxes, if it's more tabs, I will link to it in the description box below, because that stamp set should still be available. Basic tabs, I think, is no longer available. And this little star is in that Recollection stamp set that I started out with the trees and the deer and the snowflakes. That is a really versatile stamp set. It's designed around making cards, but you can always use it for planners. And this to-do checklist, I think, is from the Goal Planner stamp set. I could be wrong. It could also be the Work to Do stamp set. I will definitely link it below, but that is a Hero Arts stamp, and I just stamped it out in Cobalt, Ranger Archival Cobalt. For the most part, I find the Ranger Archival inks are pretty good for planner stamping. It's just, I've only ever really had the problem with watering can for whatever reason. So this is just about gonna do it. I hope everybody is set to have a wonderful Christmas or a wonderful December holiday season. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button. If you would like to see more videos like this or more scrapbooking videos, hit that subscribe button. And we'll see you guys next week. Thanks. Bye.